Jordan, I'm very excited to talk about this next one. I'm very excited because this next one was really good. It was really. This is the reason why I instituted the 5-episode only. Because if I hadn't, I would have watched all of them in one sitting. This is, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider.
この頃から仮面ライダーが好きだった。彼は俺の唯一無二のヒーローだった。俺は今年40歳になった。ショッカー現る。
ショッカーの方が好きなんだ。
帰りなさい。俺の敵はショッカーだ。俺のはごっこじゃないから本気だから。
電波人間スタック。
見えるか V3 がライダーマン。
現実には存在しないことはもう分かっている。仮面ライダーになれるわけないのに。
はっきり言ってショッカーは存在します。
ショッカー。俺も戦う仮面ライダーだから。
And I don't know how.
Is that the one where he ends up in a medieval world?
No, this is Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. This is about a gentleman named Tojima, who, when he was a kid, was really into the show. Oh, sorry. Before I jump into this, I need to define some terms. Number one, Shocker is the original evil organization from the original Kamen Rider show. All of the people who work for the Shocker organization are Shocker. And then you have Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider is... eventually he got the name Kamen Rider Ichigo, but originally he was just called Kamen Rider. So when Tojima is a child, he determines that he wants to be Kamen Rider.
Okay.
So he trains really hard.
It felt like you just stopped there mid-sentence, like you were gonna say something else, and like you just stopped. Was there more to that?
He trains One Punch Man style. His body
all
every single day.
All day, one day, really hard.
He trains every day really hard, and the first few episodes are basically his backstory about how when he was a kid he like stood up to bullies, and he was like, if I have to hold back, I can't fully transform, and he goes to transform, and he just puts on a mask and he beats the shit out of people, and he eventually grows into a 40-year-old adult who is sad and lonely and lives by himself, and is like, I can't be a 40-year-old adult who is into Kamen Rider. That's weird. No, it's not. That's weird. I have to ditch all of my memorabilia, and so he sells all of his memorabilia, and he goes back to being just a regular guy living his regular life. And,
so he's lame.
And to be clear, he is fully aware that Kamen Rider is fictional. He's aware that Kamen Rider is not real. Does not exist in real life. That is important. And so, at a certain point, a bunch of criminals decide to dress up as Shocker. So they wear masks and they dress up like Shocker. And the big thing with Shocker is they're...
Shocker from Spider-Man?
No, Shocker, the bad guys from Kamen Rider.
Oh, God.
You know the definitions we defined earlier?
No, I zoned out there for a minute.
So Shocker is you know how every Kamen Rider has a group of bad guys?
Oh, Putty Patrol. Got it.
They're the originals. And so a bunch of guys...
I figured that's what you meant.
Decide to dress up as Shocker and rob convenience stores. And as a result of this, it's caused a slew of copycat guys who are all dressing up like Shocker. And I'm not going to be able to do this well or right, but I'm going to try. And the big thing with Shocker is they're essentially Hydra in the sense that they're super Nazis. Like, a bunch of them are Nazis because this show came out in the 70s. So, like, a bunch of them are Nazis. And they wear these black kind of ski masks. They've shown up in some of the Kamen Rider stuff you watched. Like, they were in the Superhero Tyson, I think. But the big thing with them is whenever they greet each other, they do the salute that I can't do. They do a version of that, and they go, "Hee!" They do that, yeah. You know, the one that the one if you angle your yeah, the salute. They do that, but with two hands instead of one. And so they've decided to do this because their boss, coincidentally,
Really likes Kamen Rider?
is a huge fan of Kamen Rider, yeah. But instead of liking the good guys, he's a massive fan of the bad guys. And so,
That's fun.
So he's like, yeah, if you guys are the goons, then I'm the monster. And so then he puts on
what that makes me think of, and maybe this is just an on the nose, but it that reminds me of Kick-Ass.
kind of, but hold on. Keeping in mind, I've only seen 5 episodes, right? So, he the main Shigo, whatever, the main guy, he goes to he goes to stop them, and he winds up at a kind of mask shop, and he pulls a Kamen Rider mask and he buys it, and he goes to Henshin, but he puts the mask on and he's just crying as he's about to fight them, and they're like, "Are you crying?" And he's like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest moment of my life. I'm so happy." But okay, here's my question. What's the word they say to transform, Jordan, in Kamen Rider? Henshin, right? Henshin. Okay. There's the one thing about, I watched the dub of this, and this is not the show's fault, but it's the one thing that drove me crazy, was he kept pronouncing it Henshin.
No, it's Henshin.
Henshin, and I was like, that's not. But then I watched the dub. I watched a bit of the Japanese version, I should say, and the way he's pronouncing it in the Japanese version is Henshin. So I could see how if you were listening back, you would think it was Henshin.
Any time that I remember hearing it's usually like
Shin.
I'm gonna do it with like what the Henshin.
Yeah, shin, like your shin.
Henshin, like shin.
Like your
like
shin.
Your shin.
Yeah, exactly. Not sheen. But he pronounces it sheen. Henshin. And I'm like, oh my god, you're mispronouncing it wrong. But like also maybe in the 70s version it was more like Henshin. I don't know. I didn't watch a ton of it. But eventually, he runs it. He gets spotted fighting the criminals. He beats up all the criminals because he's super strong, because he's abnormally physically strong, and he beats them all up. And it's there's a high school teacher who watches him and is like, "You're just a fake Kamen Rider fan. You're just a poser." And she gets dressed, and she reveals that she is a character from whose name doesn't matter because you don't know who it is, but she's a character from the 3rd version of Kamen Rider called Kamen Rider V3. It's just called V3, and she is basically, she has her own transformation. Because the thing about early Kamen Rider is they were cyborgs. Like that was the thing. They were, yeah. The original Kamen Rider is he gets kidnapped and he gets turned. He is effectively one of the monsters that he fights. Is what he is, but he's a good version of that. And so,
interesting.
The V3 is a combination of the 1st and 2nd Kamen Rider, and that's what makes him special. Is he has their fighting moves, and so she gets introduced, and her backstory is she grew up watching V3 with her dad, and she's really into this character who gets killed off in the 10th episode of that show. And I'm watching it, and there's a whole bit where they're going through her backstory or whatever, and she's really into this character, and her and her dad tape every single episode, and he has this tape of the episode that she's like, "Oh, it's an episode I've never seen." I wish I could remember the name of the character. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But she puts in this tape and she watches this episode, and it turns out that this character gets killed off and dies. And I was like, "Is that a real thing from the?" Yeah, sure as shit. I think it was episode 10 of that show. She gets killed, or episode 30, actually, I think is what it was. She gets killed off, just on the original show too. And so her whole thing is, she's like, "I'm the 2nd version of this character. This character didn't actually die. I'm her." And they eventually run into, and this is because I've only got to the 5th episode. I don't know how many others show up, but they eventually run into these 2 brothers. Who is the 2nd brother? He doesn't wear a mask, but he studied all the fighting techniques of V3, so he's V3. And then his brother is the 4th Kamen Rider, who is Rider Man, and he wears a Rider Man costume. And Rider Man has like a kind of like a Mega Man style arm where he shoots like
A Buster Cannon?
not a gun, but he shoots
No, a Buster Cannon.
yes, but it's not a cannon. It doesn't shoot. It shoots it's like a grappling gun. It's like a Mega Man version of a grappling gun on his arm, and he doesn't
Hook
have
shot.
yeah, basically. And the bottom half of his mask doesn't cover his face, which is very strange. And so while fighting, while the guys who are pretending to be Shocker are robbing a convenience store, a guy shows up and is basically like, "You gotta stop this." And they're like, "Why?" It's like, you're making us look bad." He's like, "What do you mean us?" And he rips away his costume, and it turns out he's Shocker, and Shocker is real, and they've actually been real the whole time, and they've been hidden amongst people. And it's kind of cool because he's just a Shocker grunt, but all the Shocker grunts are all also like enhanced humans. But because obviously Kamen Rider is like a stronger version of that, he can easily beat the grunt guys. But to a human, the grunt guys are super duper strong. Like they're like, and so the part I'm at, the first monster from the original Kamen Rider, which is Spider-Man or Batman, I think it might have been Batman, has shown up, and they're about to fight him, and he is like a big deal. Like to Kamen Rider, he's not that big a deal. Like the monster guys.
Yeah, to a human like me or you, it's like coming up against Shocker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a superhero.
Yeah, exactly. So he's treated as like this massive deal, and they're all just humans. But they make it the point to have them be like, no, I'm perfectly sane. I know that Kamen Rider's not real. I know this isn't real. It's just a show. We're just fighting basic criminals. So I'm at the point where these guys show up, and it's not really clear. Like, you're made to think that it's real, but it's not really clear if it is real or not. I'm on episode 5. It's too soon to tell. It still might not be real. It might all be in their heads. It's hard to know, but there's 4 of them. So, like, is it a shared delusion? Is Shocker real and living amongst them? It's at the point I'm at, kind of implied that they've come from another dimension. Like
that would make the most sense.
They're from common, like they're the characters from the show, and they've come to the real world. That's kind of what it seems to be hinting at. But the show's fucking great. The animation is gorgeous. The fight sequences are super fun. It's really fun. There's a few of these shows where, if you're a fan of Kamen Rider at all, it's really funny. It's for us who watch so many of these shows, it's really funny. It's really funny. The dub, I thought the dub was good. I think most modern dubs, like, we've really moved past the era of the dub is bad. I think we don't get, there's no 4Kids or it's dubbed for the audience who's there's going to be some exceptions later on that I'm going to talk about, but I don't see how this would be made better by watching it in Japanese. I really don't. But it's really good. This is a hard recommendation for you specifically. You would love this show.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna probably come back.
It has
to
a dub?
Yeah, it has a dub on Crunchyroll. Yeah, and it's on Crunchyroll.
Good to know.
Yeah, at least one of these I'm gonna come back for a half scene for next anime, and it's probably gonna be this one. I don't know. I'm torn. There's a couple of these that are really good. I was really, really impressed by. This is definitely one of them. Yeah, I had to put a hard limit on myself. I was like, if I don't say 5 episodes only, I'm going to watch like 20 episodes of this and not watch anything else because I'm enjoying this that much. You keep asking about the one I watched on the plane. There's a reason why that got shifted to be have not seen.
Because you wanted to finish it.
Because I finished it, yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. That's Shingo. Shingo wants to be a Kamen Rider. That was one more thing. Everyone, I always see videos about where people are like, where's a good place to get into Kamen Rider? This is honestly a decent place because there's a lot of moments in it where the characters are just teaching you about Kamen Rider, They're telling you their backstories, history of the show, history of the characters, storylines. Like, I now know more about Riderman and V3 than I did prior to watching this show. Like, I knew nothing
And it's in
about
English.
them. And it's in English, yeah. It is a little bit like, I will say, and we're gonna come back to this. English actors don't quite, for whatever reason, they just can't do Kamen Rider style catchphrases. It always sounds kind of stilted. So when he's going henshin, you're like, this feels not quite there for me. It's just something exclusively the Japanese people can do, where I'm like, this isn't landing in the same way that it would in English for me personally. But
I mean,
we're gonna
yeah,
come back,
well, that's
put
just
a
a
pin in
general.
that. Come back to that.
That's just a general. I would say certain things, certain languages, just certain things sound better. Like there's definitely like, uh, for example, with Spanish, me going like, "Tú es muy caliente,"
Yeah.
sounds way better than "you are hot."
Right. It really does. Yeah.
It just there's certain things which just sound better.
Like okay.
So
Not
like,
to give
hey,
anything.
like for example, henshin sounds way cooler than if I was doing transform.
Yeah, right. Transform is not nearly as cool as henshin. It's just not. It's just not. And like, not to jump ahead, but in reference to that series we're going to talk about later, like you're in the process of watching Tokuger. Imagine if they said all that transformation shit in English. It just wouldn't work. It's not the same. It doesn't.
It's
It
clunky
doesn't,
sometimes too. It takes up more space.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't translate the same way. That kind of happens here, but it's more in a later episode. But also, I didn't watch the later show on Crunchyroll, so maybe it would be different on Crunchyroll. Who's to say? But anyway, that's it. That's Shingo wants to be a Kamen Rider. Shingo wants to be a Kamen Rider.
Okay, so my next two things are shows.
Sorry. Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. Hey there, everybody. It's N-Card Justin here. Let me know down in the comments. Have you seen Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider? Is that the type of show that interests you? I will tell you I'm going to probably be coming back to this because I'd like to finish it. But regardless, let me know what you're thinking down in the comments down below. But in the meantime, if you would like to see the full podcast that this video is from, our anime, 5th anime special. Click the box on the left, or if you just want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave this video a like. That helps us out as well. We'll see you all in the next video, everybody. Have a good day.